you lovely beings can call me Khione, you can call me Aria, you can call me Mama, Mommy, whatever you like, it's fine. Some of my entourage members have taken to calling me Queen. That was by their choice, and so that's fine. As long as it's respectful and I know you're talking to me, it's totally fine. Whatever you guys would like to call me. I also have a Chinese name, which is Hua. It's X-U-E. And I have a Japanese name, which is Huyu. Huyu, I'm gonna go backwards in order here. Huyu means winter. Shua means snow. And Khione also means snow. Aria is just a type of song or a name, but in Italian it can also mean lioness, so there's that. But yes, so that's my name, and those are the main names that I tend to use among earth dwellers. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, and as you guys can see, I'm an angel. Now, I'm not an angel from this dimension, though I have met the angels from your guys' universe, dimension, what have you. But yes, I'm interdimensional. I'm from a completely different dimension that is completely different from things over here. I'm a traveler, and unfortunately, though, when I crossed over here, two very unfortunate things happened that didn't usually happen in the past. In the past, I was able to cross dimensions with absolutely no problem and return home whenever I desired. But this time, something went wrong. I'm not really certain what happened, but I'm stuck here. I can't return home. I can't travel anywhere else. I can only travel to the other planets within your guys' solar system, universe, what have you. Not just the solar system, but I can go to space as well. But for the foreseeable future, I'm pretty much stuck here. Also, when I crossed over this time, I lost a lot of my angelic abilities. I am a healing angel. I'm not a battle angel like some are. And I lost my ability to heal. And unfortunately, tied in with my ability to heal is my singing ability. I used to have operatic, professional level singing ability, and that was part of how I healed others. I've pretty much lost that. I still can carry some sort of tune, and I do sing occasionally on stream, but it is nowhere what it used to be, unfortunately. Yeah, so as I joke on stream, if I still had my healing ability, I would probably be out curing cancer and all sorts of other maladies that the populace here, this society here seems to have been stricken with over the centuries, millennia, etc. I'm immortal, so I have all the time in the world to figure out how to get home. But not all is lost, as I have hope, but I have also found quite a new home here on Earth. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been stuck here and stuck doesn't seem to be a very proper term to use, because I like living here. For the most part, you know, Earth is a very difficult place, and I'm surprised you humans can deal so well with everything. There's been a lot of tragedy and horrific stuff happening here that never happened back in my own dimension. My own dimension is incredibly peaceful, incredibly different from here. Yes, so, and something all of you may have noticed is the way I speak is very human. Yeah, that's because of how long I've been here and how much I do hang around humans, how much I do go among humans. Though as an angel, I don't suppose my speech has ever been particularly angelic, but I do. When I first happened upon here, I spoke very differently, and some of that does come out when I write in text and whatnot. But I never was one to use the thou and the these, and I do speak angelic languages. I know my native language back from my own dimension. I know a bunch of languages from here, or I've been learning them at least over the centuries, but I've fallen out of practice with some of them. Latin is one of them. I used to know way better Latin, and I'm relearning Greek as well. I do know Enochian, but I will not be speaking it on stream because too much Enochian would probably melt everyone's eardrums out. So it is an angelic language, and there's a reason why humans don't know much of it. So, and yes, speaking of melting, I do have a true form, and this is what I would call my true form that humans can respond to positively. I have a true form that would probably melt all of your eyeballs, so I will not ever be showing that on stream because I care dearly for the health of my entourage and humanity as a whole, and I will not be bringing that upon all of you. So, yes. And I do have a true name, and that will never come out as well. That would also damage all of you. I don't think any of you could even pronounce it to begin with, so worry not, fear not. So that's how I came over here, and a bit of my history being here. So originally I kept to myself for the first great few centuries of my life. I've only really come out to interact with humans a great deal within the past 100 years or so. But before that, I mostly kept to myself, just kind of observed humans from afar or used disguises to go among humans. I still do that, of course. That's one ability I didn't lose, thankfully, was my ability to shapeshift to an extent. I've lost some of my shapeshifting abilities, not all of them, thankfully. I can still make use of that, but it's limited, it seems. And another limit I noticed is I need to recharge my abilities that I did retain, and while I'm doing so, it can vary how much time that takes. I do need a vessel, a human vessel, and it took me forever to find one. Well, it took me forever to find. I've had multiples, sadly. And I say sadly because the few vessels I have had, I've become very attached to. They become like daughters to me. They become like, and yes, they're always female. They're like a family member. They're like me. They're like a piece of me that I lose when they die, because yes, my vessels do eventually die despite the fact that I'm immortal. That's something I've never been able to figure out how to stop, and I don't think I should. I don't think other forces would be very happy with me interfering with their domains. Let's just say that. So I think the vessel I currently have, she's my fourth vessel. And I suppose the next question would be, if it's so painful to lose them, why have them? Well, one, I need them. There are times when I can't even interface or interact with the world around me unless I have one. And so I've also just kind of gotten used to it, having one and having this bond with one. And yes, I do, of course, currently have one. And I won't mention my vessel very often for her safety, for my safety, and at the end of the day, you guys are here for me, not her, and I feel kind of cold saying that, but that's the way she would want it. She's very shy and she's very reserved and that sort of thing. So you all won't be hearing too much about her. But every now and then I might mention it a bit, as in, oh, I need to take care of my vessel today. Because though I am using her, geez, that sounds really cold. I'm so sorry. Though I am borrowing her being, I am sharing her being. Oh goodness, what was I saying? Oh yes, she is human and she does have needs, and I do need to take care of her. So, but yes, vessels are incredibly difficult for me to find because we have to have an mindset and personality and being. We have to be pretty much almost a 100% match, which, as you can understand, as a non-human, is incredibly difficult for me to find. It can take me variable amounts of time to find vessels once they pass on from this mortal coil, but I count myself as incredibly lucky that when I lose one, it's not long before I find the next one somehow, by some miracle, by some luck. Maybe it's assistance from the other non-human forces that live here on Earth. I'm not certain. None of them has ever spoken up and come forth and said they are the helper with such things. Maybe it's my own blessed luck. I have always been blessed with incredible luck, which is a commonality shared by my vessels, which, as I said, yes, they will have a ton in common with me because it has to be like pretty much almost a 100% match for them to be usable. Oh geez, there I go again. Them to be compatible as vessels. And so they and I have so much in common. And it has varied throughout the centuries as humanity has made new discoveries, as humanity has had new cultural discoveries, new cultural happenings and whatnot. History has changed, and so much has changed within, yes, the past 400 years. That's how long I've been here on Earth, about 400 years. I'm a great deal older than that. I'm immortal, so I don't really totally pay attention to my age, but I will say among angels, I'm on the younger side of angels. I'm not billions of millions of years old like some angels, because there are angels that old, trust me. Especially the ones here on Earth. There are some that are in the billions and have been around ever since this universe was created. So I've just been spending the past 400 years learning about humanity in the way I can, and going among humanity and partaking of various things. And so yes, and like I said earlier, I started out very reserved and very closed off, and I didn't even show this true form until last year in December, when I started streaming, which is a very strange sentence to speak aloud because it was something I never intended on doing, and it surprised me. But I started observing others of this same persuasion, VTubers as we are called, virtual YouTubers, and I happened upon some that really resonated with me and really inspired me. Maybe I'll speak about them someday, but for now I will not. But I may drop hints, or I may sort of speak of them at times vaguely, or maybe me being me, I will accidentally be mentioning them, or maybe you guys will get it out of me one way or the other. It's been known to happen. But so I was so greatly moved by said other VTubers, and the one in particular, this is the only thing I will say about them. They are also a non-human entity, but of the completely opposite persuasion of what I am. Surprisingly. Or perhaps not surprisingly for the ones watching right now who are close to me. Because yes, I do bond with humans. I do have humans that are like family to me. I have close friends. I make friends, just like any human would. And of course, my vessels have their own friends and family. So I guess the next question would become, do their friends and family learn about me? No. That is, well, extremely rarely. It's very rare that their friends and family also have to be attuned to me to some degree. So that's a whole nother thing I could talk about another time, but for now I'm just going to be speaking about myself in particular, because my vessels might not even want anyone to know about them or their histories. Usually they don't, with the way they are. So, but yes, I do make bonds. I do have friends, family, significant others even. And that does happen. Just like Earth angels, I can also bond with humans. No, I do not have any biological children, and I don't think that would be wise, so I don't think I ever will. But I do adopt humans in a way. And so there are humans in the past, and perhaps even presently, that have been like daughters to me, or are daughters to me. And I don't only adopt and bond with humans, I adore animals as well. And I bond with quite a few animals. And one ability that I also did not lose from when I traveled the dimensions and ended up here was my ability to have familiars. And they take on all sorts of different forms. They used to be quite a bit different looking, but the creatures, it seems, and this is something I knew I learned, I suppose, that the creatures here are quite a bit different looking from the ones, well, maybe not, but the energies are different. I don't think the looks are different, with some of them at least. Though I did have some creatures in my home dimension that were very different from anything here, and I've never seen anything like back home. But the familiars I have here, not only are they not immortal, but their beings are tied to what the current, like, the creatures who are alive here look like. So for example, my current two familiars both have taken the forms of cats. And you can hear at least one of them pretty frequently on my streams. And they do have full names, but I tend to use shorter names for them on stream for a variety of reasons. Safety, comfort, and that's mostly the main reasons. I think those are the main reasons. But the one that everyone usually hears, I call her Moo or Moo Moo. She is very vocal, very chatty. She loves to talk. She loves to come in and say, "Hey, what's up, man?" And that's how she is. She's always talking. You talk to her, she talks back. She's very, very, very conversational. So she will talk whenever. But my other familiar, he's quite a bit quieter. We call him Sa or Sasa. And you will rarely hear him meow or make any noises like that on stream, but you may occasionally hear him nuzzling the mic, walking by the mic. You may hear him pawing on my monitor, because a really funny, adorable thing he loves to do is he loves to get up and run his paws. He has no claws, by the way. And that was not by my choice. When he came to me originally, he was missing his front claws. So his former conjurer removed his claws, because here's the thing about familiars is they're quite a bit like normal flesh and blood animals, but with a bit, they can look a bit different, they can be more ethereal looking, but they pretty much have all the qualities that an animal would have. Like, for example, cat familiars are still going to clean themselves, they're still going to sharpen their claws in play and all of those things. They just have a little bit extra going on because they're magical familiars. So his former summoner had removed his claws, unfortunately, and then abandoned him for some reason. I still don't understand why, and I'll never be able to know why, perhaps, but so he's able to paw monitors without harming the monitors, without harming himself. If you guys ever hear a strange squeaking sound, that's him pawing at my monitor. He does that. But he has never done it on stream for some reason, which is very surprising. But yes, he will silently come in. I will announce when he's in here. Sometimes he's already in here in this big blanket covered armchair, be right directly behind me. And he'll curl up on this free space on the armchair among all these plushies I have there. And he'll just be resting there. And he'll grumble in his sleep sometimes. He makes these little kitty grumbles, as I call them. And it's a shame that you guys can't hear them. They're adorable. But I guess my microphone just doesn't pick them up, or my the filters I have on my mic cancels out all the background sounds. So, but he also has, there's an empty shelf on my big bookshelf next to me here. And he will get up there and just kind of loaf there sometimes. I made a little clear shelf for them to sit in if they want to, but Mumi just chooses to sit right on my desk by my microphone, so you may hear her very loudly if she ever chooses to meow while on my desk, which she hasn't. She will just kind of nuzzle the microphone as well. And yes, she does love to get sink water, even in the middle of streams, even if she has her own water already, and it's just a little thing she likes. She likes running water. And I learned that it comes from an instinct that flesh and blood cats have to drink running water because it's fresh. Like, it's not more likely to be fresh because it's running water. It's not stagnant water. But yes, a lot of my familiars, interestingly, while I've been here on Earth, have been cats. So I suppose I'm a cat angel. But I do like all animals. I'm not specifically like, oh, cat person, dog person. I like dogs quite a lot too. They're very, very sweet. I guess if I had to choose, it would be cats, but I do also really like dogs as well, and a lot of other animals. Honestly, some of my favorite animals are things that would be probably incredibly strange to you all, like snakes and spiders, and that's just how I've always been. As long as I've been here, I've just always liked the more strange animals, the more toothy animals, such as sharks. I do really like sharks. I think stranger animals are incredibly cute. And that leads me into my next point of discussion, is my hobbies and my streaming content, which is still very new to say, very strange to say, because humanity has only had this technology for a bit under maybe 100 years, I think. I don't remember the exact time. Computers and such related things were being developed. I think that was in the 80s. Was it even the 70s? It's maybe even the 60s. I don't quite remember the exact time. But I kept an eye on it for a while, and I didn't really get incredibly immersed into computers and PCs until semi-recently-ish. But I've always been a computer sort of angel. I've always really liked PC games. I have played things on consoles and whatnot, but yes, as you guys can tell, one of my great passions has been video games, and which is probably incredibly strange for an angel. But I imagine, and I have seen other angelic VTubers, and so it makes me feel not so strange. But Yes, so video games are going to be the main focus of my stream and are one of my great passions, and probably will be until they no longer exist on this planet and I have to migrate to another planet. But I hope that doesn't happen, because Earth is, despite all the tragedies and sorrows, it's a pretty lovely place, and you humans are very lovely and have made me feel very, very welcome for the most part. But my streaming entourage, as I call them, and yes, the group of you all who watches me, whether it's for a few seconds, whether it's consistently every stream, you are my entourage. And I am trying to build a decent sized entourage now. I never thought it was something I would do. Angels seem to have groups that follow them around. And I was like, okay, I suppose that's what I will call you all. As what I will call you all individually, I'm not really certain. I don't know if it's grammatically correct or even not strange to say, hey, I'm entourage. That sounds a little strange, I suppose, but maybe it also works. But I do want a name for you all individually. Like, I don't really know what to call you all in that capacity. My familiars is a bit strange because you're humans. At least I assume you're all humans. Perhaps some of you are sentient animals. Perhaps some of you are other non-human beings, such as angels and demons and the like I am. But so that was something I wanted you all to help me decide eventually when there are more of you. Though I do have a few regulars, and if any of you have any ideas, I would love to hear them. Whether in comments, during stream, whenever, what have you, on Twitter. Because yes, I do also have a Twitter. I always have it linked in my description and on my YouTube About Me section. I called it Bird App. Because yes, I like silly, funny little names. I like memes. Actually, all of the things that I either am really passionate about or might show up on stream as a lot of content have all been listed in my bio since pretty much day one. And I suppose I could go over that next. So, my main focus is always going to be video games. I'm going to always be what's called a Let's Player. So if you see me ever using that term or writing LP, that's what it means. I'm mostly going to be playing video games. My focus right now is Elder Scrolls games because that's one of the properties that I'm incredibly passionate about, incredibly attached to. I love fantasy. I have always loved fantasy to some capacity forever and ever and ever. Whether it's been some sort of unique fantasy or traditional fantasy, I love fantastical settings. I love magic because I am myself a magic user, a sorceress, a witch, what have you, whatever you want to call me. Or I was, but I still have it to some extent. So, of course, I'm very attached to that. And so, yes. But I do also really like sci-fi. Sci-fi is also incredibly appealing. I love technology. I love robots. I love futuristic kind of really neat things. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but I love cute little robot companions. I love little robotic noises, and I love people who are half robot. Yes, I love that sort of thing. Hence my great attachment, and also our main character right now in the Skyrim, our main Skyrim Let's Play, Maheli's attachment to the Dwemer. They're a race I'm very attached to, of course. They're an ancient lost race, which I love that kind of thing too. I love ancient lost races, lost civilizations. Even on Earth, I love archaeology and history and learning languages and that sort of thing. So, of course. But I love learning the lore. I love learning stories. And speaking of my familiars, one has come to join us for this tea time. Hello, Moo Moo. She is here with us. Please welcome her. Oh, hello. She made her little burr noises. that's called a trill, by the way, and cats use that to communicate with other non-cats. Well, they do use it with other cats, but they use it with their humans and their non-humans. So trills are their way of communicating with us, either us summoners or us family members. But as I was saying, yes, my main focus will be video games. Video games are my great passion. A lot of the YouTube channels and stuff I do in my free time is tied to video games. I watch a lot of Let's Players. I watch a lot of video game related content. I am incredibly attached to video games as a storytelling medium, as an art form. Yes, they are an art form. I will argue that till the day I leave this plane, that they are an art form, and I love them dearly. And excuse me, and they are a big positive contribution to this society, to humanity. And if they are misused, well, everything can be misused. Even things that seem like they're 100% for good can always be misused. Oh, yes. So that's going to be one of the greatest focus of my streams. As for the types of video games, I like open world, I like fantasy. I do really like MMOs, though I've kind of fallen out of those a bit recently, in recent years, but I do still like the medium. I do really enjoy, anything where I can make my own characters and play pretty princess dress up is okay by me. The more customization and the more modding I can do to the game, also the better, which is why I adore Elder Scrolls games so very much, especially the recent two installations, is that the right word? The recent two Elder Scrolls games, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which was the one right before the current one, which is the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. And yes, I am very excited for Elder Scrolls 6. Well, excited and cautiously optimistic. I'm a little worried, but I'm hoping Todd Howard and co. have learned their lessons from Fallout 4 and the like, and know what to do with Elder Scrolls. And I hope they kind of go back to some of the weird stuff they were doing in Morrowind, because yes, while I'm not quote-unquote a Morrowind baby, and when I say that, it means the Elder Scrolls you started with, so I'm an Oblivion baby. But I have played Morrowind, I have enjoyed it. I love the aesthetic and the world building and some of the weirder lore that came about in Morrowind. Michael Kirkbride's stuff is pretty great. So I hope they kind of dig back into that. I hope they listen to what fans do like about the series, whether it's all the way back from Morrowind up to things that they like in Skyrim, and that they don't listen to all the negativity, because yes, we want to give them feedback, we want to give them critique, but at the end of the day, there's so much that we as fans love about the Elder Scrolls and that we would love to see come back in the Elder Scrolls 6. So I'm hoping and praying. But until then, I have so much to still do in the current Elder Scrolls games. I have so many mods to test. I have so many fan projects to try, such as the amazing Skyblivion that is coming in the next 2 years. I can hardly believe it. I'm so excited. Rebel, if you're listening, you are a legend, you and your team. I love you guys dearly. And I can't wait for my two favorite games to collide in this amazing project. Please check them out if you haven't already. They're doing such amazing work. They're doing the divine's work, so to speak. And they have made a beautiful world. And I've been trying to not poke too much into the videos because I want to be surprised. Usually I would go full all in, as I usually do. I go hard on these things, as so to speak. But I've been trying because I want to just be amazed when I play it, because the screenshots I've seen, it's absolutely beautiful. I can't believe how well they've remade Oblivion in Skyrim's engine. That's what Skyblivion is. And I could go on and on about Elder Scrolls forever, but I don't want this to go on for too long. I try to keep tea times between half an hour and an hour for you guys. They will never be as long as streams. They're supposed to just be a short little thing for you guys. And yes, by the way, I do have an editor now, and I will be working with him to get you guys some edited videos. So yes, that's all very exciting. But going back to the last part of our tea time, I believe, for today, is talking about my content. So, video games, number one. The next thing that I am super passionate about is storytelling and role-playing, as you guys might have already been able to tell or learn. So, a big other part of my content is probably going to be ASMR, but role-playing ASMR. I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with that kind of thing. The way I'm going to be doing it is I'm going to be doing like a collaborative storytelling thing with my audience. And that's how that's going to work. And yes, I will sometimes have things that make sound. I will play music. I will play background sounds like rain or snow, or, you know, and maybe it'll just be simple things like you're stuck with me during a blizzard and I have to take care of you, and, you know, sweet little things like that. But that's not all. I may have briefly mentioned this for all of half a second on stream before. I'm not the only one who is going to be meeting with you guys and giving you some ASMR. I have some associates, some close non-human friends that may also be talking to you guys. I have, tied to my being, I have some other beings who are here with me. Yes, thankfully, I'm not here alone as a non-human being. Well, one, I have an alternate ego I use to associate with some of the, let's say, demons. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I have a demon persona. Her name is Khione Aria, which means summer. And she looks pretty much the complete opposite of me. She has black wings, which, by the way, yes, demons are, as far as I know in your guys' cultures, fallen angels. Well, some of the cultures. Demons are just fallen angels. So, she is my demon persona. Her wings are black, and she has purple and black hair. And her eyes are the opposite of mine, so it might be a bit difficult to see right now because I'm not leaned in, but my eyes are pink, orange, and yellow. Her eyes are more like what's behind me right now, but more like a little more vivid. So it's like a mint green, like a pale baby blue, and like a pale like lavender. So, and she wears black and silver instead of white and gold. And she does wear her hair differently. And yes, I am using third person because even though she's me, she's kind of her own person. Sort of. It's difficult to explain. And yes, she does have horns. And she does still have a halo, but it looks different. So, she's like an eclipse, whereas I'm the sun. Well, maybe that's not the way. Maybe that's backwards. She's like a black hole. Although that sounds really rude for some reason. But it's really like I'm a sun and she's a moon. I think that's a way better one, actually. She's like the moon and I'm like the sun. So, Khione Aria, you will be meeting her. Perhaps even in Skyrim, but I guess we'll see. But definitely for ASMRs, she will be visiting you guys. She's a little more quiet and softer spoken than I am. I'm already soft spoken and kind of quiet, especially if I am met in person. But when I'm among humans, I mean, like, I'm quieter and I keep to myself than on stream, where I'm very chatty and very outgoing and such. But yes, there's going to be Khione Aria. There's going to be me, of course, guys. Come on. And there's one final individual. He's interesting. His name is Emotes. And he's hard to explain. He's a separate entity from me, but we do have like a connection of sorts. It's complicated. But he will also be speaking to you guys. I have spoken to him about it. He knows about all of this. He's aware about all of this. He may have even been observing from the beginning, but you know, Hamelness is Hamelness. And he will also be interacting with you guys. Look forward to that. I'll talk more about him another time, but this is about me right now, so yes, RPASMR, and I will let you guys vote on scenarios and give me ideas. You guys are welcome to throw ideas at me anytime, whether in live chat, in YouTube comments, on Twitter, whenever. I am open and welcoming of it. So yes, look forward to that as well. Another part of my content that I absolutely love dearly, and I have shown on stream. Honestly, I may have misspoken earlier. This may be the second most, I think this definitely will be the second most common stream content is horror, spooky stuff. I have always been a fan of the dark and mysterious and spooky and creepy. Ever since before I came here, I've always been into mysteries and the dark side of things and the spooky side of things, although there wasn't a whole lot of that in my dimension, so a lot of it was very new when I came here. But even back in my very peaceful dimension, there was still always mysteries and spooky stuff going on, though it wasn't harmful. But over here, there's outright really harmful, grotesque, gruesome stuff. And I've gone through periods where it bothered me, but I have once again gotten my old gore tolerance that I had developed when I first came here. And I will be playing quite a few spooky things on stream for you guys. It's going to be a regular content thing. And we've already had one spooky stream, and I have plans for future ones. Probably next week, if not this week, we will be playing Amnesia: The Dark Descent. So I hope you guys are excited for that. It's an older indie game. So far it's been indie games. I will be playing mainline AAA horror games too, like the Resident Evil remakes, the old Resident Evils, and so on and so forth. So yes, I will also be going into SCP Foundation content. I love the SCP series. I love the SCP universe. I love all of that. It's amazing. I will be playing the game on stream. We may be playing it after Amnesia. I haven't decided yet, because getting it to work on stream can be a little fussy, I've seen and heard. So we'll see if I can get it to work. Hopefully. But maybe we could switch up. Oh, sorry guys, I have to stretch. But maybe we could switch up the content sometimes. Not always like horror let's plays. Maybe I could just read articles to you guys, have little like spooky stories reading stream, or we could have like a little campfire stream where we share spooky stories with each other. I think that could be really fun. But yes, horror and spooky content will also be a huge part of my content, probably number 2 after video games, or like main non-spooky video games, you know, because there will be spooky video games. So that's 3 things so far. The last 2 things, I'm not really sure how I'm going to incorporate in my stream. One of them is memes and meme content. I don't know how that's going to come about, but just letting you guys quickly know, I love memes. I'm a goofy little goober. And I love cute, funny things, cute, weird things, and yeah, so I love memes. Yeah, I know, but hey, it's who I am. My very last type of content is something that, even more so than memes, I have no idea how I'm going to work it into my content because of YouTube's content guidelines. I really have a admiration, a love, a passion for not safe for work content. I know it maybe not might be surprising from how I look, but looks can be deceiving, hey. But yes, I have no idea how that's going to come about on streams. I may not be able to do it to a great extent, but where there's a will, there's a way. But I do really like really pretty nudity in my personal Skyrim setup. I have the statues all redone to be really beautiful nude statues. I just like both female and male, like just nudity is really pretty to me, or like just really interesting, like skimpy clothing and that kind of thing, and see-through clothing, and it's just something I've always been really drawn to and just really felt just really happy with, and it just makes me happy. It's strange to explain to people, but I do tend to lean more towards feminine beauty and, you know, female bodies and that kind of thing, but I do really find some men very, very, very beautiful as well. But they tend to be also a little more feminine looking. But maybe not sometimes. It just depends on the person and the being, because I usually gravitate towards, like, with no surprise, non-human beings, fantastical beings. But, you know, there are quite a few just normal everyday humans that are very, very beautiful. Whether they're from Earth, they're from video games, they're from anime. I love all of that kind of thing, and I'm open to quite a bit of quote-unquote strange stuff. There are lots of things where even if it might not be my thing, not only am I okay with seeing it, I might find some representations of it very beautiful and have it in my personal, like, little collection, which is very hard to explain to people, and I usually don't, but maybe some of you will get it. You know, I'm a very strange being that's able to collect some really strange stuff, and I'm just like, look how pretty this is, and people would be like, what? And I'm just like, isn't it pretty? And they're just like, and I'm just like, okay, you don't, alright, never mind. But hey, maybe some of you will get it. That's the beauty of the internet, is you can find your people, so to speak. But yeah, I don't know how that's going to manifest in streams. I'm very, what you call, sex positive. I'm very supportive of anyone in that profession. And yeah, that's just part of who I am. It's always been a big part of who I am as a healer, as an angel, as a big booby lady. I've always been a booby lady. I've always appreciated other booby ladies. This is just how it is, man. But hopefully you guys get it. And if you don't, just please at least be polite and considerate and kind, you know? I'm totally okay if you're not comfortable with that kind of stuff and it's not your thing, and that's totally okay. I will forewarn that I might start posting more stuff from my personal Skyrim Let's Play, and there will be nudity. I don't know about more, like, super not safe for work stuff. I may like super not safe for work stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna retweet a lot of it, because I'm trying to still get the judgment of how my entourage is, which you guys are comfy with. At the end of the day, yes, it's my channel, it's my content. I should do what's best for me, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. But just keep in mind, that's a big part of who I am, and I will talk about that kind of thing from time to time. I am technically a channel that is a haven for adults. I'm not gonna be like super like always talking about that kind of thing, but you guys are welcome to talk about that kind of thing. You guys are welcome to share that kind of thing and have discussions with me about that kind of thing. I may not share much of my own personal preferences, just because for me it's sacred. And for me, you know, it's just that kind of thing. But you guys are welcome. I will talk about it in a general sense, though, because like I said, it's one of my great passions, human sexuality in general, not safe for work stuff, nudity in art, nudity in video games, that kind of not safe for work content in art and video games, etc. So, like I said, I have no idea how this is going to manifest in content. I have no idea at this point what I want to do with this one passion of mine. So I'll figure something out. But for now, I think it will just be something that is kind of a discussion. Like, if you guys ever want to bring up certain artists you guys like, certain mods in that vein, I will check them out. I may not be able to show them on stream, but I will check them out. I'm open to a whole bunch of stuff. No matter how grotesque it might seem, maybe I'll find it beautiful. Because this is me we're talking about. I love all sorts of strange things. So, that is my final main content point. So, but yes, mostly games, mostly horror stuff, and ASMR. And maybe we'll mix it up every now and then. A lot of my content is up to you guys, honestly, and your guys' input and your guys' opinion. I do really, really value the things you guys tell me and suggest to me. And our entourage may be small right now, but you guys mean the world to me, and maybe it will be bigger someday, and we'll have more members to do this fun stuff with. The more members we get, the more we can do and figure out and decide and build in our little community. So I'm really excited for that and looking forward to that. And I think that's pretty much everything up to date that I'm comfortable sharing, at least. And yes, you guys will get to see my wings eventually. Don't worry about it. I do have wings. Whether I use them to varying extents, I can't really use them a whole lot here because you know how much trouble that would cause. You know how much. But I can if I want to. Sometimes I joke that I can't, but that's just me being funny. So, yes, I do have wings. Khione Aria has wings because she's just me. And Amones, he also has wings. I'd like to call him my male persona, but he's also a separate entity, but he's also me. It's complicated, strange angel stuff. But he is a separate entity. He's kind of like the inverse of me, but not the same way Khione Aria is. He's like my same look, but he's male, and his hair is like the inverse of mine. So his hair is mostly the pink part of my hair and some whites at the end. So he dresses similarly too, I think, sometimes. He's all over the place. Anyway, so maybe I'll talk more about my alter egos another time. But I think we're getting close to running out of time for today because I do not want these to go too much over an hour. But yes, that's all my current up-to-date lore. And I hope you all enjoyed joining me today for this tea time. And I hope you like the music too. I'll be playing maybe not always the same music. But yeah, I will be also starting to play music during these. Or maybe I'll just do sound effects sometimes. Maybe we'll have like a rainy day tea time. Wouldn't that be nice? Or a little snowy blizzard tea time where you guys cuddle up with me and I keep you warm and give you tea and we talk about stuff. So for the next tea time, I will definitely be letting you guys vote on a topic this time. It may be next week, it may be the week after that, but look out for a poll on Twitter. Yes, it is going to be on Twitter. That's where I do most of my logistics, technical stuff on Twitter, like giving you guys updates. I do try to remember to post on the community tab on YouTube, but mainly on Twitter is when I tell if I have to cancel streams. I retweet funny stuff, I post about stuff. I'm still getting used to it, so I'm not 100% great about it. I might forget some days to even post that we were live or whatever, but I will always post my schedule, which I need to do right after I finish recording this and upload it. So I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful time with me today. I hope you learned a lot about me. Maybe some of you already know these things, but this is here for any future Entourage members or current members who maybe haven't caught my moments on stream where I do talk about myself. So if you guys have any questions, if you want me to elaborate on anything, if anything at all, comments, questions, concerns, just drop them down below in the YouTube comments of this tea time, and I'll be glad to get back to you. I get back to everyone pretty fast, especially on YouTube. Twitter sometimes, especially if it's a day we don't have stream, I might take a day and a half to get back, maybe a little delayed. But yes, YouTube is the fastest way to get my attention, it seems. Twitter's pretty fast too, and during streams. But remember, we have a rule to keep on topic during the stream. So yes, don't forget to read my rules. I always have them in the comments below, no matter what. They're always there, so please, if you've read them already, please review them. If you haven't, please read them and keep all those rules in mind and try to follow them. I'm not super strict on a few of the rules, but because we're so small right now, and the entourage is so tiny, but just be careful, exercise good judgment, just be kind and polite, and you'll get along. We'll get along just fine. And most of the time, I will put you in timeout first before I outright ban you, but there are some offenses that are just outright bannable if you're being incredibly rude and offensive and you know the drill. It's just, most of it's common sense stuff, but please, please, please read my rules and we will get along wonderfully. But yes, that's enough from me for this tea time. I hope you guys had a nice time and I hope you learned a lot about me. And as always, I love all of you very, very dearly. And I will see you in a few hours, actually, for more Skyrim with Mihaly. We are going to be continuing Moonpath to Elsewhere, so I will see you guys for that. And take care of yourselves until then. Bye.